We're going to talk about your materials. What type of materials do you want to have in order to do effective evangelism? A variety of things. Of course, we're going to start with the one that we've mentioned several times already, and that is the Outreach Series Builder package of resources. Again, the basic one, if you go to seriesbuilder.com right now, you look on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a tab you can click on, and you can download all of the slides and all of the sermon notes for free. Once again, they are completely editable. You can change anything on them, moving text out of slides, rearranging the order and everything, so you can make it just exactly what you want. But they are based on John's most recent evangelistic series. Also, the silver and the gold packages have some additional resources in there, like decision cards, weekly mailings, radio ads, TV ads, handbill designs, and everything that correspond with the different themes in the presentations. The free version has just one theme for the entire presentation. The silver and the gold will have multiple themes. If you don't want to have your series titled whatever the basic one is, there's about 4 or 5 other options, so the look is entirely different. So that's what the silver and the gold packages are. There will be a discount on the gold packages, and I'll let Victor share that with you at a time when he deems it appropriate. A few evangelism materials, prophecy charts. How did we start with the materials in prophecy in our evangelism? Well, there was the prophecy charts of Miller. How many of you have seen pictures of those? I think probably all of us, right? How about the papier-mâché beasts by Simpson? Have you heard of those and seen some pictures of those, right? That was kind of innovative. It was new. It was different. Picture rolls used by missionaries. Any of you used those before? Yeah, several of you have used those before. Then you had the 3 projectors with handheld clickers taped together that some evangelists used back in the day. Any of you seen that before? That was for a little while. Today it's pretty much PowerPoint and Keynote. Those are the 2 that most folks go with these days. Series Builder, as I mentioned a moment ago, contains PowerPoint format, also Keynote format. The sermon notes are included and all of the files are editable. Decision cards, another thing that you're going to want to use is your materials. It's a tangible way to express decisions. You want to pass out the cards typically toward the end of the meeting during the appeal. Alternatively, distribute the cards before the meeting begins. It's a little bit less popular to do that way, but some evangelists do that effectively. One thing that's important if using decision cards is to train your ushers how to distribute the decision cards quickly, because many ushers don't understand how to do that, and when you call for the appeal, they'll have that stack of decision cards and they'll start at the back and they'll start counting through those decision cards, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in this row and give it, and they go up a row, 10 people in that row, and it takes forever to distribute the cards that way. So if you have them learn how to count the number of people in the row halfway through the message and stack those cards, then count the next row up and stack them the alternate direction, when it's time to call for the appeal, all they do is start at the back row and give a stack, give a stack, give a stack, give a stack. You can cover the entire audience in about 30 seconds or less, regardless of the size of the audience. So training them how to do that effectively helps immensely. Number 3, giveaway items. Probably the most obvious one is Bible study guides. Give out a lesson that correlates with the evening topic. I will recommend giving these out at the end of the meeting. Somebody tell me why you don't give them out at the beginning of the meeting. They'll go read through the whole time. They're not going to pay any attention to what you're saying. They're flipping through and filling it out, and especially if you're going to be grading them and giving them a nice gift, maybe a Bible at the end, they'll spend that time going through and filling it out rather than listening to your presentation. So give those at the end. Guests can return them next evening to be graded. Supplemental books or posters. I like using attendance-based gifts rather than giveaways. Now, for some time back in the past, I would do a drawing each evening. We're going to give away a Strong's Concordance tonight, or we're going to give away a prophecy study Bible, or we're going to give away something nice, and we take all the ticket stubs or the registration numbers from everybody, and we draw one, and somebody would go home with a really nice gift. That really kind of, in my opinion, cheapens things a little bit, and one person may go home excited because they've got a nice gift, but what did everybody else get? They got nothing, and they feel a little bit left out because they didn't win the luck of the draw, as it were. So if you do attendance-based gifts, then everybody's eligible for something. So for example, if somebody comes for any 5 meetings, they swipe their little plastic ticket 5 times, they come 5 nights, it doesn't necessarily have to be consecutive, they get to take home, let's say, a free book, like one of the sharing books. They come any 10 meetings, they can choose a free CD. If they bring a guest, maybe both they and the guest that they brought receive a free CD of that evening's message or a CD of their choice. So that way, everybody can receive a gift. They just have to come the appropriate number of nights. Everybody's on a level playing field. This is also really effective if you have a particular series of messages. Let's say you want to do one on the law and grace, the Sabbath, and the change of the Sabbath. And you want to make sure that everybody hears those three messages because they go together. You can set something up where you say, if you come to these three messages, a Friday night, a Sabbath morning, and a Saturday evening message, which are the three that you want them to come to, if you come to all three of those, then you'll get to take home a book, a free copy of the book, The Forgotten Day, or something along those lines. So it's an incentive for them to come to those messages that you especially want them to hear. Offering envelopes, important. They offset the costs of the meetings. Financial giving helps guests feel invested in the seminar. Weekly is better than daily. I spoke about this a little bit yesterday. Give the envelope out the night before you're going to collect it. And I don't make a big deal about the offerings. I downplay it. I say, listen, these meetings are free. You can come to them every single night if you want and not give a dime. God bless you. The fact that you're actually coming to these meetings rather than going and doing anything else is offering enough for me. That's huge. But if you feel like helping us with the cost of the seminar to offset them, God bless you. We really appreciate it. You'll receive an envelope as you leave this evening. If you feel like placing something in it and bring it back tomorrow, God bless you. So make it real simple, make it real easy, and you'll find that the Lord blesses every single time. Audio CDs or DVDs, record the meetings and give guests the opportunity to purchase them over at your media table. Obviously, you'll want to set up a media sales table. You can also have some books there. All the profits ought to go to the church's evangelism budget to help cover the meeting costs. Books, magazines, and etc. Supplemental material, if you will. Sell print materials at the media sales table as well. Books, CDs, DVDs. Check It Is Written's online store for ideas. We get a lot of stuff there. Don't sell an item at the table until after the subject has been addressed in the meetings. This is really important because you don't want your material jumping ahead of your presentations. Now, something else on material. I found it fairly common that when I go to different churches, member X or Y or Z will have a stash of their favorite material at home. And now that you have a bunch of people coming to your meetings, this is a prime opportunity for them to distribute their material. Now, the material may or may not be kosher. We'll put it that way. But regardless of its kosherness or lack thereof, they need to be counseled very carefully on the idea that nothing should be given out unless it is approved by the pastor and or speaker who may be the same person. Once it's been given the green light, sometimes I've found some church members who had some phenomenal stuff to give away at the appropriate time in the seminar. But make sure that you don't have guests, shall we call them rogue members? I don't know if we could call them that or not. I guess we can use that term here. You watch out for rogue members who are trying to give out things that in an inappropriate manner, inappropriate material. That can do great damage to your seminar. Man. Women's ordination, somebody says. Speaking of advertising, it's kind of a similar idea. Before my seminar started, this was in Alabama as well. Before my seminar started one time, I got into town and the pastor, he met me with his eyes downcast. When the pastor meets you like this, you know something's wrong. So I said, what's going on? He said, well, we have one of our members, little old saint of a lady, who took it upon herself to do some pre-work for the seminar. I said, so what did she do? And she bought, hundreds of copies of these. Have you seen the large newspaper format publications that identify the Pope as the Antichrist and the mark of the beast and things like that? All in huge letters, like 84 point and red, bold, and everything like this. And she bought hundreds of copies of this and then took them and put them on the windshields of all of the cars in the city hospital and the Walmart parking lot. And the hospital had to call a meeting to explain to everybody what was going on, what those things were on their cars. And then, of course, they contacted the church, and they're like, what's going on? What's with all this stuff? And so we got free publicity before the meeting even began. Not the kind of publicity you want. So be very careful with materials. Make sure far in advance that your church members know what is appropriate to do and what is not appropriate to do, and that anything goes through the committee before it is done. Attendance tracking cards, these are small plastic tags with barcodes. Again, I think most of you are probably familiar with this type of thing, but something along those lines is typically the way that I'll go. Nearby, College Press is able to produce those fairly inexpensively. They will work with It Is Written's Outreach Series Builder program that we have. Also, you know, I haven't told you about this. We have an app now produced by It Is Written called Outreach, which is completely free, and you can track your Bible studies on that. You can track attendance at meetings. You can track the people if they come to a cooking school, and link them all together. It also maps out the different locations of your visits. If you want to visit the people in this area or that area, or they've come to these meetings or missed those meetings, it'll group them together, and you can map and drive through all of them. So if you just go to your app store, whether you're on an iPhone or an Android, and just look up It Is Written Outreach, and you can download it for free. Cardboard tear-off tickets work. They're kind of old school, old technology, but they involve more data entry labor. They are still effective, though. I've got 5 minutes to spare. Take that, John Bradshaw.